I am ready to go.
Hey everybody, welcome to... Oh, god damn it.
Sorry.
That wasn't me.
I didn't say Josh.
It sounded like you said Josh. Do you just like blame me for stuff that happens? Like you stub your toe and you're just, damn it, Josh. So, that's very, very nice of you.
And we're playing Alien Afterlife.
Yeah,
and I
all right.
apologize to everybody for this.
Well, the prompt that won Patron Week was the game that Chris finds the hardest to explain. So, Chris, please explain what this is.
So, Alien Afterlife is not a traditional video game as such. It is a game by a New York artist called named Jeremy Couillard. I don't know how to pronounce French names. French words are hard. Alex, do you know how to pronounce?
Oh, we know. We've proven this on the show many times that we've struggled with the French language pronunciation.
Okay, Alex, how would you pronounce his last name? Josh, click on
Isn't
credits.
Rutz French?
Rutz is a made-up word.
Wait,
I mean,
oh no,
yes.
my last name is French, but I, like any American, am nothing. I am just a vacuum, a void of heritage.
So, Couillard, is that right, Alex?
Yeah, like that would be like the bastardization of it, probably.
By every American, I specifically mean like the worst ones.
I tried to look it up earlier, and like the D is silent. It's completely insane. French is a scary language, and I don't want to go near it. But the point is, this is a video game by an artist proper, who's sort of like a capital A artist first, and a video game developer sort of second. These games, Alien Afterlife, and the game, his VR game that came out before this, and the game that came out after this that I'll talk about later, all have been like in galleries and on display in art galleries. So they've been like, yeah, these are works of art more than they are video games proper. They end up on Steam eventually.
Suspicious.
Anyway, Alien Afterlife is a game. Let me read the description here.
Well, this game is like $3 on Steam. I've never bought anything that was in a gallery for that little. Actually, I've never bought anything that was ever in a gallery to begin with. So,
yeah, my whole attitude towards stuff like this is always like, Rutsgard says that games are real art, and that like they should be respected as real art, and that there's incredible untapped expressive potential. And then some artist who isn't in video games normally is like, cool, I'm gonna make a video game. And then I'm like, not like that.
Should I hit the play button here, or
let me just read the description real quick. Alien terrorists have stolen the machine to reincarnate you. Go get it back.
Okay.
That is the description of the game, and that's a very video game description. Hit play.
I take it back. He nailed video games.
Is.
I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. Never mind.
what is going on?
Oh my goodness.
All right.
That is a very drastic change of scene.
Okay. We are, as you said, Rutskarn, a void.
God damn. We're gone.
We're dying.
I mean, we
yes.
got pulse.
We tried to save him, but he didn't have a pulse or a heart or organs or skin.
Oh no. Is that Kate Blanchett?
Something.
Horseman came riding through the burning oil fields.
I think they said it was Kate Marsh in the credits. But
other things back in the
is there subtitles?
Snuck the bottle into the
I do not believe so, no.
Accessibility is weirdly a problem in the arts. Like in like fancy modern art, accessibility just keeps coming up as like a thing that they don't think about.
To save our society from
Yeah.
Are you moving right now?
No, this is all. I'm in an elevator.
You're in the elevator. You're in another dimension. You're in the combination elevator other dimension.
Fuck
yeah. It's the beats.
Okay.
Will we be able to fashion review this game?
This is beyond fashion review.
I'll be honest, I was still a little bit suspicious, but 30 Flights of Loving also had a lot of this going on, and I really like that, so I don't know where I am yet.
which made
Oh
a
my
sort of aquatic
God, what the
enamel painted forest.
Oh,
What is happening?
Aliens built a sound system
No!
at the bottom of the pile and screwed the shampoo bottle into it.
Look, the audience asked for a game I can't explain, and I am not in enough to the traditions of art to really be able to sufficiently explain it. It's clearly about death and rebirth, but beyond that, I am largely at a loss.
This is like Horizon Zero Dawn, basically.
Flooding metropolises
I was thinking like
to lead us
everything
back
on
to what we
acid.
once were.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
not
gonna
on enough
be-
drugs for this, I don't think.
This is going to be a very interesting episode for me to record because I have very specific and idiosyncratic angry opinions about art. And I don't normally bring them onto the show because there's no particular platform for them there. It's kind of like when people talk shit about like modern art or whatever, generally they don't know what they're talking about. I kind of do. Like, I was in the Honors Humanities program. I have an Honors Humanities degree. And, like, a lot of the things people say about games like this, like, is off base. But I also have different negative opinions about stuff like this half the time.
I don't know if that one's yours or not.
Is he wearing a suicide vest?
No,
Yeah, remember, terrorists have stolen your resurrection machine. They've interrupted
Oh,
the process
right,
of life and
yeah.
rebirth.
Come
I
on,
forgot
Alex,
about-
you could do
What
you
is
can handle a fashion
happening?
review of this, surely.
well, I mean, if it's a bomb vest, I don't go there.
Oh, it was. Wow, holy shit. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm on the ground now. I'm still not actually doing anything aside from looking around. Like, I'm not moving on my own.
This is the beginning of Outer Wilds.
Ah!
To sadness,
It kind of is, actually.
paracosm,
We're inside the pink thing.
moves into
I'm not
the
gonna
earth
lie,
hotel
I am
downtown.
really digging this because
Just an internet
for art
connection
games, it's
with a
actually
pack of
still
marijuana
quite
vapor
linear.
cigarettes.
Things are happening.
The
Yeah.
imagery is abstract, but the narrative is, and like what you're experiencing is in a linear
Air
fashion.
Jordan tennis shoes. Cartoon animals copulating with impregnated.
The rarest
love
Air
these
Jordan
guys.
tennis shoes.
10,000.
Do you ever remember that show in the 90s, like Bump or whatever, the little claymated green
Yeah.
guy?
Oh,
These
yeah.
remind me of that so much.
Portfolios of 500,000
Oh.
artists.
I have
making
control now.
10 different artworks.
Wasn't it like Bump in the
3 million
Night?
Designers making
Yeah.
Or
And he was like a monster.
Monsters?
Ah!
1 million phalluses.
I'm gonna see if I can find a
They
script.
don't
for
seem
this
to be
online.
big on collision
Between spaces.
boxes in
So
the
now you're
Afterlife.
moving.
Previously undiscovered
Yeah, now I'm moving.
Is that a bong on the table?
Spinning planets
I believe the answer is yes.
It looks like a bong to me, as someone who does not use bongs.
Josh is more of an edibles guy.
As you can tell by these statues.
I actually really do not like the smell of weed.
Anybody.
I
who
don't
doesn't
think
smoke
anybody
weed
does.
does not like the smell of
Oh,
weed. It's
okay,
it's an
I
unpleasant
have-
smell unless you associate it like Pavlov style with the bud.
Now we're in an alien eraser head mode. Where we have
Yeah.
this
Oh,
small
pick up our first
child
weapon.
that we don't want to deal with.
And it shoots beam.
This is... Does it?
Oh, it is a
okay.
weapon. Holy shit! I was joking.
So now you have to lead.
Okay.
I want
and
to
go
see
kill
what
the
the
alien.
TV's hooked up to.
So we're
So
having
goes down the
issues here
leg.
because of the lack of subtitles. At least I am. Chris, can you
Yeah, let's
in
see,
any
can
way encapsulate what narrative I've missed out on?
That's a vagina.
It's a well, it's a leg though. Like we're in a body and this is the leg. The vagina would be over here somewhere.
Yeah, you don't
Let's-
understand alien anatomy.
Let's not.
Yeah. The
Oh god.
I'm sorry. Are you not at home for the ionic analysis of Alien Afterlife, Chris?
Maybe this is why I can't understand it. It's just I'm not willing to go there.
You gotta go there.
Heyo.
You gotta expand your
Ah.
mind. Just yep. Just leave your mind and go to Dorville Village.
This is not where I was before.
Why do we have 0 out of 22 real monsters?
You have to go kill all the real monsters.
Okay.
What happens
I mean,
if we... Do we go back?
How long do you
Okay.
think it took people to, like, get through this game at the gallery?
I have no... Well, okay, so here's an
I am
interesting
very
fact.
curious about that.
I was reading up on the game going into this thing, and apparently the original version of this had multiple forums. There was a room where you could sit down and play it, but it was also... Let me get the exact quote.
okay.
Viewers can either play the game or watch a, quote, let's
shit.
play, unquote, of the game, which comes from the year 2056, when smart cars have gone AI and become real estate speculators. A woman has found the game in a forest flea market and plays it on YouTube to sell ads for money, telling stories about 2056 while drifting through the afterlife. So basically there was a video
alright.
playthrough with a sort of let's play narrative context, in addition to being able to
Okay.
just sit down and play the game.
I want to know what the audience for this was. Cause, okay. So, like, one thing that does bug me about, like, sort of banal critiques of modern art is that genuinely, when you get down to art that is not, like, strictly representational, or that, you know, like, it requires some level of, like, context to really get the most out of it. And I don't just mean, like, fancy highfalutin art. Like, if you hand the average video game to a person who doesn't play video games, like, if you give someone Spec Ops The Line, they'll pick up, like, the obvious, like, anti-war text of the game. It's not even really subtext. But, like, the fact that it's specifically a response to modern warfare shooters is something that you need to have that context to get. And it may seem like a lot of it may seem weird and juvenile and lame to someone who doesn't understand what it's talking about, like, what it's talking to. And, like, a lot of times, you know, if you look at something that, you know, and you're like, oh, this is stupid, like, what is even the point of this? There's a decent chance that you at least don't want to forget exists, that you're essentially seeing a dank meme that you don't understand because you haven't seen 10 other dank memes over the course of your lifespan.
What is that?
No, I agree, and that's one of the reasons why I think I can't really properly analyze this, is I am versed in video game language and video game literacy. I am not versed in the language of modern art, so it becomes very difficult for me. Like, I can look at this from a systems perspective, but it becomes very difficult for me to look at this from a, like, what is he actually trying to say perspective, other than the very base level, wow, yay,
Okay, so
very
that's how I
base
get back
level
up there.
stuff of like, obviously this is about death and rebirth, and it's a commentary on modern society, but how deep can I get with that would take a lot of effort.
I am getting very little from this so far.
I think one of the things that's important, even like as something like this to exist, and I think a lot of like game developers who work on like art games, I know several that like art game community is very closely tied to the academic game community in Toronto area. And so a lot of people, what they want to do is just challenge the platforms and the mediums in which you make games, or the tools.
Right.
Like, you know, you look at something made like this, you're limited by this very strict set of rules that obviously benefit a first-person shooter very well.
Right.
But if you're trying not to make a shooter in this game, it's very difficult. And this game is still a shooter, but it's also not in a way. And I think that's like part of what the artist is trying to do, right? Is working within the confines of this like very the system that encourages combat and violence.
Right. Josh, you may want to bunny hop slightly less. I understand that it's very difficult, that you don't know how to navigate. So if you're trying to get up this hill, then that's fine. But otherwise, it might make this game kind of hard to watch.
That was why I was doing that.
Just there, certainly, yeah. Anyway, to what Alex said, yeah. And I really like the idea of taking mediums and like trying different like spins on what you can do with them. And with video games specifically, my feeling is that when people who really are fascinated by video games and like play a lot of them and sort of, you know, mess around with them, experiment with the medium, there's a lot of potential to discover like entire like shit that just completely upends your idea of what's possible. That's great. What I don't like and what I have seen is when people who do not play video games but who sort of have this presumptive idea of what they are, and like what, or at least don't play the kinds of video games that they're setting out to make, sort of like do their own spin on it. And it on the one hand, yeah, video games are pretty like very much an evolving medium. I feel like there's a lot of even like basic language that has yet to really be established for even some of the more popular genres for expression. But like there is some stuff that you'd want to like pick up on and work with a little bit.
There is.
And it's like kind of, it's like, you know, if you're making outsider art, then that could be interesting, but also you have to view it as outsider art.
Another challenge, I think, is when you're dealing with a gallery space is that it's a very different play experience from us like sitting at home and playing. And I think it's a real challenge for people, even if you're trying to make a regular game, to get people to actually sit down and play your game in a public setting. Never mind one that is like very like complex and cerebral as this one is.
Well, that intrinsically raises the question, doesn't it? Like, who is this game for?
So these guys have two mouths.
It's pretty cool.
If it's intended to be viewed in a gallery form, where you view it with people, or like where people
hop,
watch
jump.
it, then on some level, is that?
Yes.
No, I'm just saying, like there's some clear imagery there in terms of like what looks to be something like a umbilical cord, the child feeding the mother feeding the child. There's clear symbolism there. I don't know how to process it, but I just want to throw that out. That I'm not an idiot. I get it. I don't know how to process it.
She's also on a banana.
That's also
We're inside a giant pink lady called Mother that has
it's not subtle.
Frescoes for boobs.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Rutsgarn, but it's interesting.
Okay. No, I mean these are things that are possibly more worthy of consideration.
Well, I guess we don't need the gun this time.
Leave your gun at home, son. Don't take your guns to town.
The boob frescoes were worth consideration. Can we leave now? Can we go out the scary door?
Oh yeah, we're...
So, no, yeah, I mean, like what is it...
Oh, I don't know.
So what does it say that this game is made to be played in a gallery, or to be displayed in a gallery format? Like, is that just a practical consideration of, like, how the funding works, of how the art scene works?
Definitely, 100%. Like, that is definitely part of it, because you have to have, oftentimes, like, proof your thing is done. And sometimes that involves showing it, displaying it. Like, it depends on what you classify it as and what, yeah, you're right, what grant it's under, who's funding it. Because that's, like, games aren't necessarily funded through game-related things.
Yeah.
Or game-related grants.
And on some level, it's kind of like... Meta. It's kind of like showing your statue off by having a picture of it hang in a gallery. Like, if you're doing that because you're saying something with it, that's cool.
All frames
if you're doing it because you have to, because
streaming
that's the
content
only...
compressed into the belly of two opera singers in love with
wind, even farts. They're obsessed with wind, including farts. That's just, he wants to make that very clear.
Yeah. Farts are a part of wind.
When the alien invasion
here we are
started,
in the fucking art
got
gallery.
Recruited to the Placido Domingo Star Sex Microphone Circus on scholarships.
Again, I feel like this is a lot of in-jokes to art stuff that I will not get.
This piece is 30 coins. Go and find them in the water.
I don't want to buy that.
We have to. It's part of the resurrection machine that the terrorists blew up. I can't believe I understand that. What is wrong with me?
I'm glad that you're understanding this game on a very rubber meets the road level, because that is where I'm losing it most.
Is that gonna hurt you, or?
I don't think so.
Yes, when the Big Top turns into an alien spaceship, just like in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I mean, listen,
she
I would
referenced the
rather
thing.
watch this than play more Far Cry 5. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, you know, you got a point.
Like, am I getting any of this? No. Am I getting anything out of it? It's weird. It's not quite like anything else I've experienced. That's a nice thing to add to the collection. And I don't have to dump an entire fucking mag from my marksman's rifle into a shirtless dude who's then just going to two-shot me with this fucking rusty shotgun from 50 yards. So, yeah. I guess I'm fine with it.
What is happening?
This is amazing.
Well,
I would like to point out the name of the second, well, not the second game, but the game that followed this up from Jeremy Clayard's works. The name of the game is, and I'm quoting, "Sometimes to deal with the difficulty of being alive, I need to believe there is a possibility that life is not real." That is a game on Steam that you can buy right now for 99 cents, made by the same developer.
Yeah.
huh.
Okay, I want to say that at least a few people out there might be... I'm definitely willing to believe that a lot of people watching this are having a negative reaction to what they're seeing. And some of you might be thinking that this is like a con or a grift, and I feel like I can assure you that it isn't. Like,
There's
you
too much
can
work
grift your way through
involved
the art
to
world.
make this.
Yeah, you could absolutely grift your way through the art world. It's not terribly hard. You just need connections. As long as you have connections, you can do fucking anything. This is a lot of work. Like, this is not this isn't what the grifting looks like. This is what, like, having a singular vision, whether or not you personally like it. That's what this looks like.
Are we back
I love
at
how
the
he's all
start of
gooey.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, there's only but so much footage you could render. It said we have to go swimming. I don't know where that is, but we have to go find a thing to swim through.
That hole?
Well, we're still above water, such as it is.
Jump through one of those paintings to get to the cloud level.
Yay!